Okay, so what I want to do is I want to set up some quick texturing in Mari. Okay, so to start this off quick, let's first off go over and we'll put a new shader in. Okay, I'll throw on my... Uh-oh, where the hell's my V-Ray? Am I losing my mind? Up, up, plus... Was it hidden off the bottom? Oh, it's at the top. Okay, smoking crack. Good. Now I can go over to my channels and check out what I've got. I've got a base color channel here. Setting is 4K. Okay, it's a little bit large for what I want, but whatever, we'll use it anyway. And if I go back to my shaders, diffuse color, hit it with the base color. Okay. Now, let's go over to the layers here. And in the layers, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just create a new layer. But this time I'm going to right-click, I'm going to use procedural, and I'm going to use a projection. Tri-planar projection. Okay, and this is going to give me... Cut it out! Freaking auto-docking. This is going to give me an option here to drop in a few different images and make them project from the front, the back, and the side here. Let's just lock that here. Now, is that going to try to auto-dock? It is, of course. Okay. Image Manager. Let's pull this off and... Oh, you bastard. Let's hit that little pin. We'll move it over here so you can see what the hell I'm doing. Okay. And what I'm going to do is let's make it yellow on the bottom. So I'm just going to grab this and throw it into the front view. And I can grab this one, throw it into the top view. And I'll scroll down here, and there's a side view. And bloop! There. Now it's projecting from 3 different angles. And you can go in and figure out how the repeats work on each angle, how their fall-offs work, how they blend. But I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just going to go to this world scale, and that's going to get all 3 at once. And I'll put in 0.1, and that doesn't look right. That looks like, oh no, it went and scaled it too many. So 0.1 was not the answer. How about 10? See what 10 does for us. And you can kind of see here on this piece, 1, 2, 3, so it's actually gone in and tiled it 3 times. You can start to see a pattern, so I don't know if I like that. So let's take that and I'll say like 30. Whoop! There, it's projecting it 3 times across the surface. And you can see they're kind of blending in, and I could do more work with this, but whatever. That should be good. And let's go ahead and take this back up here. We've got these in my layers here. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to add another one of these procedurals. I'm going to do another tri-planar. So basically, once you get this established, you could go and use this picture and you could rub texture on, and you've got like a good base coat to start off with. So that's really, really fast. Okay, I'm going to do something a little bit different though now. I'm going to go to the tri-planar here, and I've got it selected, and I'll pop in the blue one. Front, top, and side. There. And we already kind of know that 1 is not an answer, so 1 is never the answer. So there, I've got it repeating 3 times, and it's blending in relatively well, and I could do more work to this, but I'm not going to do it right now. So do we need the image manager anymore? No. Okay. So now I got this established. If I turn this off, you'll see the yellow is underneath, yellow paint, and I got the blue stuff on top. I can take this projection here, and I can right click and I can add a layer mask. So I'll do a mask and I'll hit like hide all. Okay, so now I've got a layer mask on here, and I can paint my layer mask, right? I can go in and get a paintbrush and I'll flip from black to white. And as I do this, I can start to reveal the blue area on top. Also, I might notice I don't like this brush here. I'm just going to go to shelf, and what if I find my organic brushes? And let's look for some kind of, well, there's storm cloud. Oh, I like velvet though. Cannot get enough velvet. Okay, here I'm just gonna rotate a little bit. Okay. Yes. Reveal the blue. Okay. Anyway, so I've done that, but actually something even cooler here is let's go down to this layer, or down to this mask here, and when I go to layer mask, there's an ability to make a mask stack. So I'll do that, and so that means that I can go in here, let's move this over so you can see it, and I'll lock it on, pin it. You can start to make masks, layer masks, or what's the word I'm looking for? Layer stacks of masks on top of each other, so you get some non-destructive masking. And so here, if I take this and I go over and I add a new layer mask, I can paint that. Okay, cool. If I look over here, there is a button that lets me put in some of these procedural masks. Let's do a procedural fractal turbulence. Actually, let's use cloud. What do I think of cloud? Okay, so there's cloud. Actually, you know what? Let's just undo. I have this thing for the turbulence. So let's go back to procedural, fractal, turbulence. I think the turbulence is fun to look at. Let's move this down a little bit. Wait for it to digest that this is on here, because I kind of like playing around. You can see the yellow paint is being revealed underneath the blue paint, and you can play with the size here. Okay, and you can play with the roughness. The roughness is just going to give it a lot more detail and grit. Okay, if I turn it down, it makes it kind of soft. And yeah, if it's up, that looks kind of interesting. And then I can put another layer on top of that, so a layer on top of the turbulence. And here, I'm just going to make my little mask smaller. And so now I can paint on top of my mask, or on top of my procedural mask. So as I paint this, I can reveal areas. Okay, great. So now, what else I can do is I could take, let's close this mask layer because we don't need to look at that right now. I could take my layers here. Let's see, how shall I arrange this? So I want to keep this one up as I'm going over into my channels, and I want to start working on my bump. I'm going to select the bump, and as I'm in channels, let's go and take a look at the base color. I'm going to hit this, and this breaks this off. I'll move this over here. Oh, you bastard! I really hate how it decides not to resize after you do something like that. Okay. And then, what the hell did it just give me? Base color. Okay, but now it's letting it float around. Okay, well, whatever. I'm not going to argue with it. By the way, if you just want them all to float around, there's a little button here so that they all will be pinned as soon as you pull them off. It's kind of handy. I should just be using that. And this one here has got my two triplanars. And there's my bump. I'm going to select both of these. And if you hold down, I think it's Control and Shift, and you click and you drag, you can create a shared layer. So now this is going onto my bump. Okay, and it's taking its moment there. And we're not seeing anything light up because on my shaders I don't have anything hooked up into my bump. So if I go down here and I find the bump right here, plug in the bump. Okay, takes a moment while it digests this. Okay, has it figured it out? Okay, we still don't see much. That's because the bump is usually set down kind of low. So if I go down here, basic parameters, reflection, scattering, bump at the very bottom. I'll pull this up so it's visible. It's kind of a little bit harsh now. And also, too, I find that it really combines well with the reflection. So if I go up, come on, you bastard. Reflection. Reflection amount. Well, reflection amount is a 1, but the reflection color is black. So I'm just going to quickly change that to something nice and white so you can see it. Maybe I'll take some of the highlight glossiness, bring this down a bit so it makes it a bit shinier, and reflection glossiness, and there we go. That's what I was looking for. And now I can play with my reflection amount and bring this down. Okay. So this is looking kind of cool. Well, it's looking a little bit organic. Not exactly what I wanted. But the thing is now, if I go in here and I paint on these masks, so I'm going in and painting on the mask, I'm on the layer, And I got the black and white mask out, and if I go and I take this, and maybe I'll make it a bit smaller. Oh, come on, R. Okay, as I paint, and I start hiding some of this yellow action. Actually, what have I done? Is it because my flow is down? And it's just taking a few strokes to get it to go away. Maybe my flow is low. If I crank that up, will that make it go away faster? Yes, it does. Okay, and if you want to kind of stay away from some of these little bits in here, something else you might think about doing, let's go and get rid of this. I might put this on my other monitor while I'm doing this. If I go down, you're seeing I'm actually painting the mask and it's hitting two of these at once. Don't forget that you can also, let's see if I got rid of shaders. I can even take the bump here and I can make it so they're darker, so they're a bit more recessed and things like that. I can start adding other layers on top of the bump that will be separate from the color. But the big one that I want to do, I'm still painting this on that layer, get rid of that, is I wanted to show that when you're painting, you've got these masks here that you can use. Let's get rid of this. And there's your masking. Enable preview mask. You can't really see anything. There's just kind of an overall mask going on. Okay, great. If I go down here a bit further, oh, we got the ambient occlusion on, but it's doing it over the whole thing. We actually have to calculate the ambient occlusion, so we have to go up to Objects, hit Ambient, and there. Now we can see it. And somehow it got left on invert from the last time that I was playing with it. But now you can see that some of these areas are going to have a high concentration. So as I paint over them, they will be masked out and that yellow bit will be left alone in those areas. Okay, and you can turn this off. Actually, something's not working quite right because it's not actually masking quite the way I want it to. Maybe something to do with my fall off mask curve. Okay, everything's taking its sweet time now. But that's the basics of what I was trying to get at, is doing some of these masks, even doing things like with your mask edges. And this does... It's starting to slow down quite a bit. Maybe it's because I'm recording and doing this at the same time. And, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. That's the end of the video.